Welcome back, adventurers. Today we are back for another trip to Halloween Horror Nights. We go through a few houses, hang out for a little bit, but ultimately the weather does turn and we end up getting soaked, but it doesn't dampen our spirits. So make sure you hang out with us today as we head back to Halloween Horror Nights. We are back, y'all, once again. Back to Halloween Horror Nights, so welcome back, adventurers. We are back for another trip out to the premier Halloween event here at Halloween Horror Nights. The goal tonight, get through more houses, go through some scare zones again, and maybe see the Lagoon show as well. We've only been through 3 houses so far this year. Goal is to try to maybe get through 4 or 5 tonight, if possible. We'll see what we can get done. We've already kind of hit some of the bigger named ones, especially with Jason, so really we just got to figure out how we can get Five Nights at Freddy's, Terrifier, and all of the other ones. So if you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and welcome back to another round of Halloween Horror Nights. I always do love the way that they set up the entrance, where you've got some of the house name like the Horror of the Y at 6, Terrifier, Five Nights at Freddy, aka the busiest line all year. You have the special medallion, Fallout, and Jason's Universe. But like I said, we've only done Jason's Universe, we've done El Artista, and we have done Dolls Let's Play Dead. So really want to try to see if we can figure out when we get through Terrifier. Would love to get through Five Nights at Freddy's, but again, that's always one of the longest waits. So again, we'll see what we can do. So weird thing is that they've actually changed out the sign color to being green now. But I do love the origins of horror. This is actually a really cool scare zone. The fact that it stretches really far, it's actually really nice. So you do something that's kind of cool and actually free for a free piece of merchandise here at Halloween Horror Nights, which is rare to say. You can actually do this Universal Backlot Club, and it's got an interactive tower where you go over, create your account, and then you scan, and then you are able to go over and pick up a physical card, and they're going to run this every single week throughout all of Horror Nights. So I already did mine, and so you set up your account, then you go over and either put in the number or you scan it, and it will then tell you you're good to go pick up the card, and it's over at 5 and dime. We did get a return time to go back to Five Nights at Freddy's, so kind of a win so far, because I didn't think we were going to get to that one today. Wait times don't look horrible, but I always do know when it gets to 9:30, 10 o'clock, that's when everything will ramp up. So hopefully we can get through some things tonight before it gets too crazy. Also, if you do have the disability access service here at Universal, they have changed where the location of where you can get some return times. Originally, it was all the way back by Five Nights at Freddy's on the back side. Looks like they've changed it back to over this area, which is kind of a better spot for it in my opinion. A little more central, especially in between like 6 houses right in this area. So that worked out really well. And then they still have this location over at Men in Black. So if you do have a disability service for Universal, just head on over to this area or head on over to Men in Black to get those return times, unless you're right next to a house, and if it is 25 minutes or lower, you can go right on in. And I do love these zombie hops, or the car hop zombies, especially when they're on their roller skates. They are so much fun, especially at night, because some of them, like her right here, hers light up. If you're sitting out here and eating, they actually come up to you and everything. It's kind of funny, actually. So now we're going to quickly head into the 5 and dime, because we want to go pick up our card, and it's going to be a flesh eater one. So head on here to get that. All right, after a little bit of confusion, and I will tell you guys exactly how we claimed it and how the app kind of works, but you get the flesh eater, and this is for the Grave of Flesh house. So now we've got a side quest for every time we come to Halloween Horror Nights, especially each week. So I think this one is last week's, and I think when it starts up, and I think it goes Wednesday to Sunday kind of thing. So like we missed out on last week's, but now that we know how to do it, we'll make sure to check in every time to make sure we get our card. All right, I want to walk through the Masquerade Death Scare Zone here. Now this one, like I said, goes all the way down. But I do like this one. I kind of want to see it in the daytime, and then I like seeing it at night again, like later on. You tried. Oh, yeah. Okay, really quickly, I kind of want to quickly go over how you use the club, backstage club thing to get your, one, how do you get signed up for it? And then secondly, where do you go to do your redemption as well? So you'll go into the Universal Orlando app, you'll go all the way to you'll go to Halloween Horror Nights, go all the way to the right where it says Interactive Horrors. You're gonna click on that. You're gonna then sign in to your account. If you've already redeemed it over at the little touchy point thingy, you're then going to go into the top right to My Legends. You're then going to scroll down to My Collectibles, and there it should be a free way for you to get your card then. So just make sure you do that. And if you need to check in, you will go over to where Illuminations, where Shrek and like Illuminations and all them meet. Go over there to the little stand like I showed you earlier, and either you'll scan in with your card, which you can add to your mobile wallet, or you sign in with the PIN, and that's how you get your card for the time being. So like I said, they start every Wednesday and go through Sunday. And just like most everything else, it is as supplies last, just like the buttons and the magnets for annual pass holders. So if you want kind of a quick rundown of wait times right now at 7:36, an hour after everything's open, refresh and make sure. Grave of Flesh is only 35, Hatchet and Chains 35, El Artista, which honestly is probably the best house, it's 45, Gawkin 45, WWE is 45, Dolls it's 50, Fallout 60, Jason's only 70, Terrifier's 70, and Five Nights at Freddy is at 100 minutes. So compared to last week when we were here, when Five Nights at Freddy was 140, Terrifier was always 100, Jason was like 140. Definitely a lot better off. Now again, like I said, we have about 2 to 3 hours before it really gets super busy. Or maybe the wait times can stay down today. Like I said, we want to try to get through as many houses tonight as possible. Well, this is the first time I've been on the back side of the sound stages. So, like I said, this is the back area where you'll have Five Nights at Freddy's, WWE, Grave of Flesh, and Terrifier. Like I said, right now, Five Nights has got the longest wait at 100-minute wait, but we did very lucky to get a return time when it was only 70. And then, like I said, then Grave of Flesh is only 35, and then Terrifier is 70. But we were thinking about maybe doing Grave of Flesh, then getting a return time for Terrifier, going to get food. But we really want to go through El Artista again because we've been listening to a podcast, and I'll put it up there with podcasts we're listening to. And it's kind of cool. So, but time to go do Five Nights at Freddy's. Let's see if it lives up to the hype I've given it for myself, because I'm really excited for this house. Okay, Five Nights at Freddy's. And the way that we'll do this is we do an overall score of the house and then a level of scariness. Five Nights at Freddy was pretty much exactly the movie. Now, someone who watched pretty much Five Nights at Freddy's, the gameplays, watched other people play it, I really wish it could have been more of that, but pretty much it felt like walking into the movie. But so with the overall score, I'm gonna do a 6.5 out of 10. Wasn't like the craziest thing. It's like, it's cool. The animatronics are really intriguing. But scariness is probably 5 or a 6, probably 5.5 out of 10. So like, it's a good house, and I definitely see why it's so popular, because Five Nights at Freddy's bringing in a younger generation of fans to Horror Nights, but I do love the animatronics that went along with it. So that was really impressive. I'm really excited about that. That was really cool. But I think so far in my ranking, it's only it's like 3rd for me right now. And the thing is, I will not have a run. So Kayla has my running ranking list going right now. I'm not going to give you my official one until we have done everything. I think right now we're going to get a return time now actually for Terrifier, because we really want to go get something to eat because it is that time of the night, and also get some water and take a little bit to sit down. So we want to do that. And then after Terrifier, I'm not sure, but for sure if we're doing Terrifier, we are doing the Blood Path. So after a quick little break, which I'll tell you right now, going into Minions, sitting down, getting some water, perfect little break. So now we got to head back to Terrifier, because it's time for us to head back to go do that one. So I'm going to be really curious, what do we actually get on the Blood Path? But we have to walk down this pathway between the store to Jimmy Fallon's and the stage. All right, time to do Terrifier, and I do love the sign, "You may get wet." Okay, Terrifier was an amazing. That was so good. Like the scares were good. Everything was scary. Like things came around the corner. The bathroom scene absolutely stunk like a bathroom. It was so good. And we even did the wet path, and we didn't even get that wet. So like that was actually very good. So overall, I'm gonna give that a 9. That was very, very good. I really like that one. Scariness level, that's gonna be up there with a 7.5. Now the subcategory is wetness. Simple rainstorm in Florida. That's what I'm going to call that as. So definitely a must to try it out this year. It is kind of funny with this having this separate walking path because of Rip Ride being down, but also just seeing the fact that Rip Ride has just got pieces just completely gone and missing right now as well. And then if you come through this way, if you see in some spots, you can actually see Rip Ride and Rocket like track pieces just torn apart. So be mindful about that, because to get to Terrifier, Grave of Flesh, WWE, and Five Nights at Freddy's, you do have to walk up this way, and this pretty much takes you all the way up. Pretty much you're closer to Islands than you are to Universal when you walk down this path. So just keep that in mind, that you will probably be doing a little bit more walking this year than in years past. Oh, here come the Ravens.
Not scared.
Okay, so small issue. There's some lightning in the area, and it looks like all of the scare actors have been pulled off the street out of the scare zones, because we did go ahead and get a return time to go do El Artista again, because our friend who's with us has not done it yet, and that is our #1 house so far this year. But because there's lightning in the area, all the scare actors look like they have been pulled. And originally I wanted to go and check all the scare zones again, and I wanted to go see the Death Eaters. So it looks like we're not going to be doing that right now. So maybe a shorter trip out to HHN tonight, just because if there is some weather, we don't want to get caught in this weather. Now again, if we wanted to stay later, we possibly could just ride out the storm, and we could probably get ourselves a really good, we could probably go through every house, but at the same time, we've been here since 7, and we also were up early and we worked today. So this is why we get frequent fear, because we can come for a couple of hours, do some houses, and then get out of here and still be able to get home and with plenty of time. Well, I thought that the scare actors all got pulled, but it looks like just the one at the Origin of Fear, looks like they got pulled. Now that may have just been a character swap, so I do like, if you look around, you can see like the green goo coming down. And what makes it even funnier is, after listening to the podcast for this, it's actually really funny now to look at it now, because it gives a different perspective of this scare zone. So you gotta help me, I can't get it off.
What's the password? Forget the password. Open the door.
Stay in your house. Lock your doors. Hold your children. Stay away from that green goo.
What are you looking at?
So I really want to go in here because Louis has been transformed into Five Nights at Freddy's, or Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzeria. So we want to go in there. I want to check it out a little bit, see what this looks like a little bit. Ooh, everybody and their brother is in here. Okay, we're kind of throwing a quick Hail Mary if possible. Wyatt 6, the WWE house, is only a 25-minute wait, and with his 25 minutes with a disability pass, we can walk right in. So we're going to try to go over and do that, and then hopefully we'll try to avoid, because it looks like there's some weather heavily moving in. Just looked at the radar, and there's a very good storm rolling this way. So kind of hope we don't get caught in that. But this means we do have to go all the way to the back of the park, or to the back area once again. So let's see how long this takes. Right now it is 9:52, and we have to go all the way behind the sound stages here. See how long it takes us to get back there, and hopefully it's only 25 minutes. All right, so it is still only 25 minutes, and this more likely is going to be a one and done house. Oh, it just went up to 50 minutes. That's so rude. Well, even though right when we walked up, they did up the wait time. They did honor the fact that we were in line. So I do appreciate that from the team members. That's fantastic, and thank you to them. Because they could have just told us, no, it's 55 minutes. You got to get a return time. Well, we've now officially hit the point of, because of Florida, still rains quite a lot. So we're now stuck with rain, unfortunately. So we were trying to I think we're gonna maybe try to go still do LRT stuff. This is about to get a really, really rough little bit here. About to get soaked, aren't we? I mean, it's supposed to not get any better. It's like supposed to storm consistently for the rest of the night. So, I mean, maybe just commit to it. And I will, once we get some cover and we do have a chance, I will go over the Wyatt Sick house and what our thoughts were, what we rankings and everything, because I don't want to do it right now while I'm soaking wet. All right, and we're going to end up doing LRT instead of in the night before we have to try to work our way out of the rain, because this is just going to get worse. This kind of tells you just how much it is raining. You see how hard it's coming down right now. Like, and we're in LRT still, which has to go all the way back behind where Rip Ride Rocket was and everything. So this is it's going to be fun and exciting. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, because last time we waited for this, it took us about 25 minutes to get from where we merged to the house. Also, it's going to be freezing in that house. Okay, that for sure was a better run. I'll do a full breakdown of how that one was, but I think that's my first 10 out of 10 so far this year. But the big concern is it's still raining quite heavily. We have to walk all the way to the car. It's gonna be fun, I say. And now back into the rain. Already wet, why does it matter? I just kind of make it more fun, actually. I don't know why. This is just like, at first I was kind of like, oh, I don't want to be out here while it's raining, but you know what? It is what it is. You're wet. Only downside is now my shoes are soaked. So there's that. Well, I talk about how weird it is. Like, you're walking through the scary zones. Again, no scare actors. They pulled them out probably about 15 to 30 minutes before it started raining. And now with the lightning in the background, it kind of gives it a weird edge to it, like a weird vibe. Like, you can just see how hard it is raining. Like, just, it is what it is. Like, we kind of just said, fuck it, and just went into the LRT stuff. And I'm really glad we did, because I didn't want to. Like, I didn't want to, because I wanted to just leave and I knew we were going to get wet. I'm glad we did, because that was the best run through of LRT stuff. Like I said, I'll talk more about why it was, but if you want to talk about a way of Horror Nights ending, nice rainstorm to end the night for Halloween Horror Nights tonight. So, what I'll probably do is when we get back home and I'm dry, I'll go over the Wyatt 6, Terrifier, or Wyatt 6, and then our run through of LRTista again, and overall just call the night wind front. And even though it's raining right now and it's storming, it's not that bad. Like, it sucks, but it is what it is. Well, we can sure say that was a fun time. I will say that was not the worst thing in the world. That was not the worst thing that could have happened. That was just different. It was a lot of fun. It actually ended up being a lot more fun than I anticipated that being. So the last that we were able to talk before I switched you guys to the GoPro, which I haven't even looked at that footage yet to see if that even came out okay. But the Wyatt 6 house, I'm going to give that as an overall, 5 or 6. Like 5. Like, I didn't know what was happening. It's not my thing. WWE is not my thing. It's nothing against it. People who like it, I think you're going to love it. The scares, though, on the other hand, were probably a solid 6 out of 10. They were kind of jumpy, and there was a lot of them. So I kind of think that was a good house. Now, I don't think that's going to be, I think it's going to be probably bottom tier for me. Nothing against it. I just wasn't, like, blown away by it, but also, like, I don't know the lore, and then I read about it and I was like, it's whatever. Like, I'm not mad with that. I think it was a good house, but for my own personal ranking, it's probably gonna stay at the bottom unless Grave, Galkin, or Hatchets and Chains or anything worse. But I mean, I'm not upset with it. I think it actually was a cool house. But then, as you guys saw as we came out, it was pouring. The storm that hit should have been a little bit later, but it ended up being there a lot earlier. But I was ready to throw in the towel and say, you know what, let's just walk to the car and let's just commit to it, whatever. I'm going to tell you right now, Kayla convinced me. We went and did El Artista again, and I'm really glad because that ended up becoming a 10 out of 10 home run of a house. There were things that we didn't see before. The gargoyle swinging at one point. There were a lot more scare actors. Also, after listening to the podcast by the Universal Discover group, if you haven't done so, I'm going to link their podcast down below from Spotify just so you guys are interested if you guys are going. But I was a little bummed because before we did Terrifier and before we really did anything else, we were going to go back and actually, as we were waiting to do El Artista, we were going to go back and go walk through all the scare zones. But that's when the lightning actually started happening and the scare actors started getting pulled. And I'm like, there's no point going all the way back to Diagon Alley to see the Death Eaters if they're not going to be back there. So still haven't seen the Death Eaters this year. It's all good. Didn't even go through Crooked Cat Lady, the scare zone over there. And only went through Masquerade Ball and then Origins and then a little bit of Toxic 20s. But overall, it was a lot of fun, and despite the rain, if, like, say we weren't wearing full shoes, I wouldn't have mind staying a little bit longer to get through some of those houses, but unfortunately we were wearing full tennis shoes, and our shoes were soaked, and now we are still wet, and it ended up being about an hour to get home, which is crazy because it's still storming up at Universal, because I have a friend who's there. Here in our house, where we are, nothing. It's a little rainy, but nothing crazy like it was up there, but I would say don't be worried about if you go over and it starts raining. Like, if you don't mind getting wet or you do have like a poncho or umbrella, just stick it out because maybe that's going to be the best time to get through some of those houses. For us, because we had the frequent fear, it didn't ruin our night. We actually enjoyed ourselves and we really just took it and just had fun with it. So, but it was a fantastic second trip out, actually third trip out to Halloween Horror Nights. Right now we still have 4 more houses to get through, but I'm really happy we got through 5 nights, Terrifier, the Y at 6, and got to go through El Artista once again. So, like I said, if you haven't done so, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Let us know in the comments, have you been to Halloween Horror Nights, and what houses have you done, and what is your official ranking that you put up so far? Curious to see what everyone has. So with all that being said though, as I do head on out to continue drying off from a very wet second half of our day from Halloween Horror Nights, we will see y'all on the next adventure.